So apparently Scott Murray, the online fitness content creator, has passed away from some kind of heart issue while he was making dinner. And I didn't know him personally, and I didn't consume his content on a regular basis, but I watched a lot of his videos over the past day. And the reason why I'm making this video is simple. I think there are lessons to be learned here. And if I can help just one person avoid a similar situation, I think it's worth it to make this video. So a lot of people who get really into the fitness lifestyle have a tendency towards extreme and obsessive behavior. So either a 2-hour arm workout, getting in tons of steps per day, pushing your calories down super low, trying to maintain a super low body fat percentage. There isn't a lot of moderation. A lot of people get into this and then they just focus on the extremes. And it can be a fine line between discipline and obsession. Those are two very, very different things, but to an outside observer, they might look exactly the same. An outside observer might see someone, they're working out 2 hours per day, they're doing tons of high intensity cardio, they are always dripping with sweat during the workout, their clothes are just soaked after the workout, they're taking every set to failure, they're doing full body workouts all the frickin' time. That might look like discipline. Calories super low, super shredded, they never have a cheat meal, they never deviate from the plan. To an outside observer, that might look like disciplined behavior. In reality, often it is obsession, not discipline. And it can take discipline to take a day off. It can take discipline to eat more calories. It can take discipline to have a cheat meal or to go up in body fat percentage. It sounds counterintuitive, and to the average person, they can't really relate to that. But to athletes or to someone who is prone to obsessive behavior, which I can definitely relate to, it can take discipline to do something that is different from what most people would consider to be discipline. And be careful of the extremes. In terms of your calories, you don't want them to be super low. You also don't want them to be super high. Your body fat percentage, 5%, not good. 50%, also not good. You want to be somewhere in the middle. Working out 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour per day, awesome, fine, fantastic. When you get to like 2-3 hours per day, especially if it's super high intensity, every day you're feeling run down, you're feeling just shitty, your performance is going down, and you're just on low calories and you're always pushing, that's where it becomes dangerous. It's not any one single factor. It's not just the low body fat percentage. It's not just the stress. It's not just the lack of sleep. It's not, just the volume. I mean, it's none of these factors on their own. It's sort of the combination. And in a lot of ways, fitness culture kind of glorifies these extremes. You see someone who's 5 or 6% body fat, he said it himself in his Instagram post. It gets more likes, it gets more views, it gets more attention, it's easier to build a business, to build a following when you are absolutely shredded. Even if that is not only not healthy, it's extremely unhealthy in the extreme. And honestly, we need a paradigm shift in the entire industry. We need to say, hey, if you can see, tons and tons of veins in your abs, your glutes are shredded, and you're trying to maintain this year round, that does not deserve a like. If I post a shredded physique, a throwback Thursday to when my serratus was popping out and stuff like that, that gets more likes. It should get less. I think one of the saddest parts was that he knew. He knew. This was not a lack of knowledge. This was a lack of actually being able to do it. And, kudos to him for actually still putting out good information despite struggling with these issues personally. I went through his Instagram, lots of really, really good information there. And a lot of it was just stuff that he had trouble personally doing and personally following. But the information was still there, and I think he knew what to do. He just couldn't sort of bring himself to do it. And one of the comments was, Greg Doucette's diet killed somebody, wow. And I want to address this just because someone's going to ask anyway. And I don't think this is the case, okay? There's a lot of factors that went into this. The stress, the lack of sleep, low body fat percentage, the hours and hours of cardio. I don't know, maybe some electrolyte imbalances. It's not just the diet. However, I have seen a lot of people who are too lean and they're eating these anabolic foods. And in some cases, it is absolutely an eating disorder. Guys who are trying to sustain this sub 10% body fat or even sub 8%, sub 6%, and they're sort of allowed to do this and eat these foods that let them live this lifestyle that is not particularly healthy. It's not the diet, it's how you use it and how it is implemented. And by now I've assessed thousands of people in terms of their body fat percentage, which by the way I'm still happy to do for free. You can just Instagram me your some pics and I'll just give you an assessment. But I have seen many guys, especially young men, teenagers often, who were gaunt, emaciated, very, very underweight, still cutting, often doing this volume eating, and they just were perma-cutting, even though they were underweight, even though their goal physique was to be much more muscular, and they were always hungry, always cold, using a lot of caffeine, all these stuff to try to maintain a very lean physique when it was actually counterproductive. And it can take courage to eat more. It can take courage to ask for help. And it's not always easy. Again, what might look like discipline to someone else, to someone not in the fitness industry or who doesn't understand these disorders, it might not be discipline. It might just be obsession. So some sort of practical tips: don't get too lean unless you're competing, in which case get lean but don't stay lean. The reverse diet, where you slowly came out of this lean position, used to be very popular. Now people tend to do the recovery diet, where they don't stay lean, they just go from their stage condition almost immediately up in weight, because the reverse diet isn't really going to have any benefits anyway in the vast majority of cases, and maintaining that kind of lean physique is just really not a great thing to do. Sleep is also huge. If you're an online content creator, it takes a lot of time. People might notice that I don't post as frequently. This is because I am prioritizing other things, and I don't push myself to get out a video every day or every 2 days like I used to. I would rather take time for my mental health and less stress. And being a YouTuber it's not easy. It's a lot of work. And a lot of what he was saying, where he was editing on his phone while walking at night, I edit on my phone as well when I'm walking around after my workout. And you have to take time for yourself, and that can be difficult, especially if you have obsessive and compulsive behaviors, but you got to do it. Even if it's not easy, in the long run, it's going to be better. Also, don't conflate weight loss and health. Those are sometimes synonymous if someone is higher in body fat, but if you're already below about 20% body fat for a man, losing weight is for aesthetics or for other reasons. It's not necessarily for health. You might be mildly healthier at 15% compared to 20%, but the lower you go below 15%, that is not for health. Okay, so thinking like, healthy food because it's volume and because it's lower calories, higher protein, higher fiber, lower fat, lower carbohydrates, lower calories, that is not necessarily the case. And again, I didn't know the guy, but just watching his videos for a lot of today, he seemed super upbeat, super positive, just funny, upbeat, just a good dude, man. Like, it really is a loss. Some other content creators made videos about this. Eli, Not Dead Yet, Ethan Harold, Iron Musket, and they knew him a lot better than I did, so I'll link their videos in a pinned comment down below. So I guess the three main messages that I would like to impart would be: avoid the extremes, take time for yourself and take care of yourself, as well as ask for help. If you think you might need help, there's really no harm in asking, and it can be difficult to do and it can take courage to do, but often it's the best thing to do.